Hey, it's almost like coffee with Kenny, my good buddy Kenny Walls. Although it's not coffee, it's water. How about the Polar Express mug 20th year anniversary? Anybody ever did that? I had never done it until Sunday. I went with the family. My two kids loved it. Polar Express, downtown St. Louis. You go to the North Pole, you meet Santa Claus. A good time was had by all. You get your hot chocolate, you get your mug there. They had some cookies, gluten free, allergy free cookies. My son could actually eat them. How about that? But enough about all that. I want to let some of you join in first, but we're going to talk some baseball. I know I've been doing a lot of Ohio State college football stuff on the channel here. We're going to get back to our roots. Baseball, Cardinals baseball, winter meetings, what's going on with Nolan Arenado, Juan Soto, the massive contract. We'll talk about a little bit of everything. First of all, I'm not an insider, okay? So before I press live here, I want to make sure, hey, anything new, any news, anything breaking on the old X, on the old Twitter. And I did see a fairly recent tweet from Bob Nightingale with a new piece of news, a new update, I should say, on the Nolan Arenado situation. And of course, I can't find it, so I'll just search. I know it just happened here. So it was something along the lines of this. As a matter of fact, it was this. So 40 minutes ago, Bob Nightingale, our good buddy, used to live in St. Louis, great guy, always comes on all the radio shows. He tweets out, or X posts, what are we calling it these days? The St. Louis Cardinals have given permission for Nolan Arenado's agent, Joel Wolfe, to speak directly to teams to help facilitate a trade. Arenado has a full no-trade clause, is willing to go to several teams with a list, quote, that's bigger than you would think, end quote, Wolfe says. So there you go. If you thought it was only, let's say, the Yankees, only the Dodgers, according to his agent, it is the agent, Joel Wolfe, who, of course, works for Nolan Arenado. That's how it works when you're an agent. It looks like there are several teams in a list, quote, that is bigger than you would think, end quote. Let's be real. Nolan Arenado wants out of St. Louis. He's not going to be a Cardinal in 2025. We all know that. He gone. I would think at this point, any reasonable contender, right, that's trying to win. Now, I think the Cardinals are going to try. They're going to kind of half try to win in 2025, but also it's got to be a pretty big market team. So even if there are other teams where Nolan Arenado would want to go to them, it has to be a team that's willing to take on. I know we've done this 5 million times, whatever his money owed is. And I believe we've done this, and I believe it's 74 million minus the 10 from the Rockies. So it's 64 million over 3 years, right? But there's money deferred. I don't even know exactly how much money is deferred. I'm not an expert. I'm not an insider. You may know that better than I. So it's not a terrible amount of money. It's not cheap, but it's not like you're going to get all these small to mid-market teams necessarily. They're going to want to take on that contract. We shall see what happens, okay? Let's go to the chat real quick. Keith Adams. Houston needs a third baseman. Matthew Ryan. Hey, Charlie. I never miss a video from you. Well, thank you very much, Matthew Ryan. I'm going to do more baseball stuff for sure. Let's see. Josh Hill wants a team with the throttle down. And there's Kim Velker. Hi, Charlie. I know Kim very well. And her son, Austin, a good buddy of mine. Hi, Kim. Thanks for jumping on. Thanks for watching the live stream here. Brought to you by Triad Bank, St. Louis Lawn Care, St. Louis Equipment, Corner Butcher, and Chop House as well. So the most recent development that I just read for you from Bob Nightingale. Look, Nolan Arenado is long gone. If you didn't know that already, look at it like this. How many times has John Mozeliak ever actually mentioned a player's name to be traded, and then that guy wasn't traded first and foremost, for years, I was on TV for a bunch of years, on radio forever until just a few months ago. Anytime we had John Mozeliak on, ever, TV, radio, doesn't matter. If you ever asked him about a specific player in free agency, he'd always and still does, politely say, look, we don't talk about specific players. So you can kind of work around, like if you're asking about Trevor Bauer, you can ask about, guys that have off the field issues and all that, or specific players. You can try to talk about a group of players or starting pitchers, whatever it is. My point is that John Mozeliak is not going to talk about specific players in free agency. And you tell me, guys, I don't know, guys and gals, when was the time ever, besides this offseason and the last offseason, when John Mozeliak basically said they're shopping Tyler O'Neill? I remember we had John Mozeliak on our radio show at the time, Hot Take Central. That morning, I believe it was a Friday. Somebody check on this. I'm pretty sure that morning when we had John Mozeliak on and basically asked him about Tyler O'Neill because he had brought it up. So at that point, obviously, you can ask him about it because he had brought it up. They traded Tyler O'Neill to the Red Sox, I believe, later that day on that Friday. Again, I go on a lot of tangents. That's what I do. But my point is, John Mozeliak is not going to bring up trading a player if that player is not going to be traded. I would be absolutely freaking shocked if Nolan Arenado was not dealt. He's going to get dealt somewhere. In the same way, and I don't know exactly how it's been discussed or reported, but when you look around, you see that Steven Matz is being shopped as well. Just the fact that you're seeing a lot of that, I would also expect Steven Matz to be moved as well, just because John Mozeliak doesn't usually just talk to talk, right? Where there's smoke, there's usually fire. He said, hey, we're shopping Tyler O'Neill. Boom. He was traded for essentially a bucket of balls. They said, he just said the other day at the winter meetings, it is our intention, or I will try, whatever the exact words were. I don't know the exact words, but we will try to trade Nolan Arenado. He gone, folks. Nolan Arenado will not be a Cardinal in 2025. All right? And you can take this video and come back and say, Charlie, you were wrong. If I'm wrong all the time. It's fine. He ain't going to be a Cardinal. You don't go through all this. And Mozeliak said, look, probably not going to happen during the winter meetings, but the next couple of weeks, we shall see. I just read you the tweet from Bob Nightingale. He wants to leave. Nolan Arenado does. His agent wants him gone. The agent's going to work directly with other teams. The list is bigger than you'd think. Nolan Arenado, he ain't going to be a Cardinal in 2025, folks, okay? Let's get back to the chat. What do we got? Brianna Torres. See, there's lots of ladies watching this, or at least two. Phillies won 2025. Phillies another team potentially for Nolan Arenado. We shall see. Frankie De Leon says Arenado is going to the Yankees. Let's see. Sir smokes a lot. What are you smoking, buddy? You've seen Jim Riley's idea. LAD gets NATO, Cards get Taylor. Gosling. Is that Ryan Gosling, the actor? Is that Tony Gosselin? Gonsolin? And send LAD $8.5 million. LOL. What a dumbass Cards take. More money back than what they sent away. Jim Riley? Who's Jim Riley? I don't know. I love Chris Taylor, by the way. Do the Cardinals want to take on any type of money? Probably not. Let's see. Charlie Smith, great name. Good time for Arenado to go. He gone. Let's see. Keith Adams again says, it's very telling that the baseball world has passed the Cardinals by and Mo dug in like we were still relevant. Come on. It hurts to hear that. Sometimes it hurts to hear the truth. I think the Cardinals are still quasi-relevant. It's been a rough couple of years. 2023 was awful. This past year, not great. I actually think the Cardinals are going to be better than people expect in 2025. Now, I'm not saying they're going to make the playoffs. It wouldn't surprise me if they didn't. But I feel like the narrative around the Cardinals of, hey, we're not really going to try, which is not the case, but we're not full throttle. We're going to kind of reassess the minor league system. I just feel like the narrative, I could understand why people are like, oh, they're not going to try. It's going to be a mini rebuild. It's going to be not a tank, but you know what I'm talking about? Wouldn't surprise me if the Cardinals are in a very similar position at the trade deadline next year as they were this past year. I think they're going to be better than you think. What's the win total? I'll look it up here. Somebody else want to look it up? What's the over-under Cardinals wins for 2025? Is it around 500, I would think? Is it around 80, 81? I will look it up if one of you guys don't. But if one of you looks it up real quick, put it in the chat, and I'll read it there. Let's go to Amir. Amir says, hey, Charlie, apologies if this is already mentioned. No need to apologize. How much do you believe the team may have to cover in an Arenado deal? Do you suspect they can get back real talent in return, minor league depth? I don't know. I didn't think the money was that big of a deal, honestly. Again, if we go back to whatever it is, if it's $64 million and some of it's deferred, and let me know. If that's not the exact total, I don't know. I looked it up in Baseball Reference. I know there's been some deferrals over 3 years. It's not like it's a horrible contract. It's not like Arenado is 40. It's not like Nolan Arenado was bad last year. He was just, what, slightly above average? I haven't looked up his numbers. I know he got better defensively, right, as the year went on. Let's look up his numbers. I know they weren't great, don't get me wrong, but it's not like he's a bad player. He just wasn't the superstar player that we'd come to expect. Okay, pretty average offensively. OPS plus of 101. All right, that was actually worse than I thought. Career 120 OPS plus, so he was 101. That's basically the definition of average. 16 bombs, 71 RBI, 2.5 WAR. Okay, I don't know why. For some reason, I thought he ended up being like a 110-ish OPS plus. He was 108 in 2023. He was 151 OPS plus in 2022. Okay, so yeah, the definition of average for 20 plus million AAV, whatever it is, 2.5 WAR, can still play some defense. Obviously not the defense of yesteryear when he won a Gold Glove pretty much every freaking year. Won a Gold Glove 2013 as a rookie. Won a Gold Glove all the way up until 2022 with the Cardinals when he was third in the MVP with what I said again, 151 OPS plus. Okay, so you're not getting that guy, but you're getting a pretty dang. I still think he's going to be above average, right? I think if you guys want to make a nice little gentleman's bet, I think Nolan Arenado's OPS plus it'll certainly be above 101 this coming year, I think. I think also he just doesn't want to be here. He doesn't want to be part of the losing team in 2023, but just kind of a blah team in 2024. I bet you Nolan Arenado is back to 110-ish plus OPS plus in 2025. What do you think? Or do you think he's just kind of done? Do you think he's just an average player here on out? What do you guys think? Let's see here. Okay, I read all of your comments. There you go. Yeah, he's gone. I think it's interesting, though, too, about who's going to stay. That's why the full rebuild doesn't make any sense. The Cardinals should still kind of try to win and then see what happens at the trade deadline. That's why, look, it's easy to say just get rid of everybody. Get rid of Contreras, get rid of Sonny Gray, Fetty. I mean, obviously, there's some pitchers you'd probably want to get rid of. Michaelis would be a salary dump at this point, don't you think? I mean, you still need innings. It's going to depend on what pitchers they want to give a look to in terms of who do they want to get starts, young guys. Palante, obviously. Sonny Gray is going to get starts. Right now, Matz is under contract, but I think he's going to be moved. Michaelis under contract. I think they'd like to move Miles Michaelis. Who am I missing? Obviously, you had guys like Kyle Gibson, Lance Lynn, who were here this past year. Options not picked up. I guess in theory, you could bring somebody back. Could you bring a Kyle Gibson back? We shall see. Again, I think Arenado's gone. I think Matz is gone. We'll see who stays healthy. We'll see who they want to give a look. I think the following year, that's more interesting for the starting pitching because the following year, I think, is when you'd want to give Quinn Matthews and or Tink Hence a shot to get 25 plus big league starts, if that's the case. I'm talking 2026. Hopefully those guys get a few starts, cup of coffee, spot start, whatever it is. maybe a little call-up action in 2025. But unless those guys are just unbelievable, right? Unless Quinn Matthews was just unbelievable in spring training, I don't think he's going to make the big league roster. But maybe he does. I don't know. I don't freaking know. We're just talking baseball here, okay? All right. Neilio. Let's see. Neilio says, Noli, I think that's Nolan, just doesn't handle losing baseball games well. If he gets to a true contender and their management places Noli in the right spot in the lineup, he can thrive for sure. Yes, I agree. Look, he already kind of forced his way out of Colorado when he didn't want to be there. He doesn't want to be here. He's not forcing his way out yet, but they're mutually parting ways. It's like a breakup when you say, it's not you, it's not me, it's us. When it's really always you or me. They always say it's not you, it's me, but it is. It's always you is what I'm trying to say. In this case, you is me. You get that? All right. Jonathan Scott says, hey, Charlie, love the content. What are your thoughts on the Cards holding on to Helsley? My guess is it is some posturing until some free agent closers move and some other closers traded. Yeah, I don't think it makes sense to hold on to Ryan Helsley either, because if you're not really trying to win, although they kind of will, but a great closer is kind of a luxury for a team that's not going all in. What's his arbitration going to be, like $8.5 million? There's a guy that would make sense to qualifying offer him though after 2025. Would he accept it? Probably not. He's going to get a huge contract, but I would think they're going to move Ryan Helsley. I think they get a really good offer for Ryan Helsley, right? We're still pretty early in the winter here. I would think Helsley's going to go. We shall see. I don't know. That's just my guess. Sheldon Richards. Where's Cat? What do you think? I live with Cat or something? Are they going to trade Jim Hayes? I don't think so. Let's see. Emilio again, if you're not really into seriously contending from the get-go, you got to get back some value for Helsley. I think it's a must. I agree. Now, I will say this. Will your package, I'm not talking about your package here, but will your package be that much different at the trade deadline if he's great than it is this winter? I mean, I think it'll certainly be more this winter, but man, if he's great and a contender feels like he's the last thing they need to win a World Series, you'll still get a great return at the trade deadline, but a bigger return now. And I think he'll also be moved. It's just my take. No inside info. Lauren Foote. Look at all the ladies. I think, Lauren, are you a lady? I shouldn't assume. No one get traded. Does Gorman take over third or someone else? You got Gorman as an option. What, Donovan can bounce all around? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I would think if you're playing Nolan Gorman at second, you would feel comfortable playing him at third also. I don't know. We shall see. If the dude hits, play him somewhere. Play him somewhere, right? All right. Thank you guys for watching. Got 37 of you watching live. Get your Cardinals comments, questions in. What do you think of the Juan Soto contract? We're talking 15 years, $765 million, right? Couldn't be just an easy, even $50 million per year. No, $51 million per season. And I broke that down. That is, I did the math on the calculator. I'll do it again. It was something like $300,000 per game. Let's go ahead and do it on the old calculator here. All right. My phone's about to die, but $765 million. That's insane. Divided by 162 games. What? Oh, that's why. I got to divide it by the years first. Hold on. Stick with me. I'm not good at math. So 765 million. I should have just done 51. This is why I'm dumb. 765 million divided by 15. Okay, equals 51 million divided by 162 games. Look at that. $314,814. We'll call it 82 cents. Let's just round up. Let's call it $315,000. $315,000 per game. Let's go by innings. It's like 35,000. This is how much Juan Soto is making per inning. Look, if you're out of college, right? I mean, I want people to make more, but like if you're out of college, let's say you get a job, you're making $35,000 a year, doing something. I don't know. I don't even know. Whatever. What's $35,000 a year hourly? So that's, let me see, divided by 52 weeks. Okay. Divided by 40 hours a week. Okay. So let's just say if you made about $35,000 per year, you'd be making, let's just call it $17 per hour, right? I think that checks out. Juan Soto is making $35,000 per inning. 300 and whatever that number was, $318,000 per game. That is crazy. What do you guys think of that deal? That's insane. But hey, I'm all for the players getting paid as much as possible. Anybody that gets mad about that, I've seen a couple people on X, YouTube complain about it. A couple people in my comments. And I'm always like one person, I'm not trying to do the straw man, but sometimes you just get one comment or so. Somebody was like, I'm just sick of baseball. I'm not going to watch, or whatever the comment was. And I'm thinking to myself, well, do you feel the same way about Steve Cohen? I know Steve Cohen's the owner and he made his money, but I feel like we always worry about the players. So Steve Cohen is worth, I think, $21 billion. I looked that up the other day. I mean, if a dude's worth $21 billion and he wants to pay one of the greatest players of his generation $750 million to play baseball, why are you mad about that? I'm not mad about it. I'm not mad about Juan Soto making that much money. I'm not mad about Steve Cohen making $21 billion or whatever he's worth, right? These people are the best at what they do in the world, on the planet, and it's a very coveted position, right? I mean, he's one of the best hitters, offensive players, because also in terms of on base and walking. I mean, one of the things he does so well is his power plus his walks, his on base. It's something up there. I saw a graphic where he's up there with like only five players, I think, in the history of baseball. Let me look this up. Because you know how, look, like I said, I'm not writing this down, folks. I believe the stat I saw was something like players that had more than 200 homers. Yeah, he has 201 homers and over 700 walks. You know, he has 769 walks. And he's still, is he 25? He just turned 26, October 25th. So I think the stat was how many players that had over 200 homers and over 700 walks before their 26th birthday or something like that. And it was just like a crazy list of, Babe Ruth and a couple other unbelievable players. Juan Soto in 7 years, OPS plus career 160. Batting average 285, on base 421 career on base percentage, 532 career slug. He's really, really, really good. His WAR was 7.9 this past year, the best of his career at age 25, his age 25 season. That's pretty good, folks. Pretty good. Let's see. I left that Lauren Foote comment up there a while. How about you, Mama? Package other players with Nolan and Helsley, Nolan and Newt to LA. Don't you want to keep Newt for Miller and Taylor, Helsley and Donovan to the East Coast for prospects? Don't you want to keep Donovan? Why keep Newt and Donovan if this is a 2 to 3 year reset? Okay, so you answered the question that I was asking during reading your question. I don't think it's a 2-3 year reset. I think it's a 1 year reset. I do. I think 2026, you're thinking Sonny Gray's around. You're thinking hopefully Jordan Walker has emerged. We'll see what happens with Gorman. I want Newt around. I want Brendan Donovan around. Hopefully Quinn Matthews and Tink Hence are players then. I'm keeping those guys. I don't think this is a 2 to 3 year reset. I think they could be really good potentially in 2026. I do. Could be wrong. Could be wrong. Let's see. Amir, you still believe in Gorman, Charlie? I don't know any comps with his tools/profile that have bounced back from struggles like his in 2024. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't believe in Gorman like I do Walker. But Gorman also might be, in the modern era, he just might be a dude who hits 220. He could hit 195 with 30 bombs. I mean, could he walk a little bit? I know that's not what you want, but like players like that can still be valuable. Let me look up his numbers here, because I have not looked at these guys in a while. So what do we got for Gorman? Again, I know that's not what you're looking for. All right, he had an 85 OPS plus. It's very bad. Previous 2 years, 104 OPS plus in 22, 116 in 2023. I mean, what if you got his rookie year numbers, folks? 104 OPS plus. Okay, I know you don't love it, but that's a 226 average, a 300 on base, slugging 420. That was 14 bombs in 89 games, right? Not going to probably play every day. Match him up. I mean, in 2023, he had 27 homers. If you could get anywhere close to that, right? Who cares about the batting average? 236 batting average, whatever. If he can get anywhere near that 328 on base, he slugged 478. I mean, if this dude hit 200 with a 300 on base, if he could somehow get his slug up to like 440, he's still probably an average player. That still plays, right? I don't know. I don't really have that much confidence in Nolan Gorman to be a superstar, but I'll say I think I have confidence in Nolan Gorman to be a solid big leaguer. I would think still. Yeah. Let's see. Thurman Vaught. I would do Arenado and Newbar for Bobby Miller and Zahir Hope. Let's see. Endless Equinox. LOL, 35K a year. Do janitors go to college now? Well, it depends on the field, right? Okay. I guess most people going to college, if it wasn't back in the day, like you're going to broadcasting, we didn't make nothing back in the day, our first job. Okay, so 35K a year. Doesn't matter if you go to college or not. That wasn't really the point. So $17 an hour. Okay, you're a janitor, whatever. I mean, if you have an office job out of college, are you making 40K a year? I don't even know. I have no clue. I'm just saying, okay, let's say you just graduate high school and you start working, doing something, roofing. Are you making $17 an hour or are you making more? I don't know. I have no freaking clue. Let me know, okay? Let's see. Dennis Kasumba? Is that like trying to get me to say something inappropriate? Do the Cardinals have any interest in signing Dennis Kasumba? I don't know that person. I don't know all the prospects, okay? Let's see. Ryan Kloss, Santa Claus's son. I feel awful for Nato. He got played. Yeah, I think he was misled, but also he wasn't that good, folks. It's also on him. One of the reasons the Cardinals weren't good the last couple of years, he wasn't that good. He also was a little pouty, right? Not running balls out. Where was he at the end of 2023 at the end when he was banged up? He didn't want to be here. Didn't want to be here. It's his fault. It's Cardinals' fault. It's everybody's fault. Likes are free. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Throw your comments in there. Here we go. Let's see. Ryan Claus says, it's so hard trying to find a communications-based job with my degree, and the ones that will hire right now pay $32K. Awful. That's what I was thinking. I mean, some degrees, you got to start out low. I started out super low. And this was 2004? It was less than 35K, I'll tell you that. It was freaking half that, basically. Upper Peninsula, Michigan, one of the smallest markets in the country. Yeah, so that's what I was saying. I was just saying more so, okay, if you're like 18 or 20 or whatever, 35K is probably somewhere within the average or national average. And that's what Juan Soto makes per inning, folks. Per inning. Let's see. Dwayne Smith seems he can't handle when we lose versus winning and lacks hustle. Talking about Arenado. I think that's fair. Here we go. Yo mama. Median income in St. Louis area is $27 an hour. Okay. But median is for everybody, right? So that's people that are 30, 40, 50, 60, I would think. So I don't know the number, but I would say 35,000 out of college. It's not crazy. I don't know. Let me know. If you're out of college, like what do you get? What do you make for a manual labor job, right? Or a high-skilled trade job? I don't know. Let me know. Okay. Jeff Castle. Good afternoon, Charlie. Good afternoon, Jeff. 30 minutes strong here. Thank you, guys. We got 36 people watching. Please support our sponsors. I'm not done yet. I just want to let you know. Support Triad Bank right there. Triad Bank, boom. Triadbanking.com. Just got an email from my commercial lender over there, my guy Matthew Tobin, about renewing a line of credit and had to sign some documents. And he emails me, calls me, texts me, or I text him. He calls right back. Customer service, relationship-based banking. That's what you get at Triad Bank. You will not get that at a big national bank. I used to be at a big national bank for my commercial lending. It was not good. It was not a fun experience. Best thing I ever did for my rental property business, taking all those commercial loans from a big national bank to a local bank over there in Frontenac. Triad Bank, triadbanking.com. St. Louis Lawn Care, St. Louis Equipment, Corner Butcher and Chop House over there in Valley Park, and also Corner Butcher West in Ellisville. St. Louis Lawn Care, they can treat your lawn over the winter. They can cut your grass, right, and do all that. And right now, St. Louis Equipment, STLmowerrepair.com. You got to hit them up, especially for snow blowers, right? Christmas season, you can get your family member I got a leaf blower for Christmas once. It's great from STLmowerrepair.com, which is STL Equipment. I got a Crest battery-operated trimmer. I have a Husqvarna blower. That's the fuel mix. But then right now, they have the Ariens brands of snow blowers and all residential and commercial snow blowers, all their equipment, okay? Plows, salt spreaders, snow blowers. They sell bulk and bagged salt for your lawn. Not your lawn. Don't put it on your lawn, on your walkway, on your driveway. You know what I'm talking about. Afton location, that's 8601 New Hampshire Avenue, Afton, Missouri, 63123. And at the O'Fallon location, 509 Sunderland Street, O'Fallon, Mo, 63366. That location convenient right off of Highway 70. Ariens snow blowers. I checked them out. They're freaking cool. Really cool snow blowers. So go get one at STL Equipment. All right. We talked about Nolan Arenado. We talked about Juan Soto. Ryan Claus, Santa Claus, Ryan Claus is asking, is this sports only? Politics. I like to stick with sports on this channel. I like to stick with sports. The other channel, we're trying to build it up, but I only have so much time. I got this channel, trying to do Cardinals, trying to do some college football, which is what I am into. And then the politics channel, I don't have a ton of time. NASCAR, Kenny Wallace, Herman Schrader, Dirty Mo Media. We're doing that nonstop. That's probably 95% of my time. And we just released the Herman Schrader most recent episode. It's on Dirty Mo Media Podcast. It's episode 5. Herman Schrader, check it out. About an hour long. And we just uploaded it to YouTube as well. So you got video, you got audio. We do it all on the Kenny Wallace YouTube channel, Herman Schrader on Dirty Mo Media Podcast, and the Kenny Wallace YouTube channel. All right. Sheldon Richards says, should make Dana White the commissioner of MLB. Biggest contract would be 10 years, $2 million deal. Yeah. I don't think the players would go for that. Dennis Kasumba is the catcher from Uganda with all the videos on YouTube. Okay, I feel like I've seen that kid. Is he that good? I don't know. I've seen a catcher with the videos. Is he that great? How old is he? I have no clue. But I have seen some videos. I'm guessing that's a person you're talking about. A couple other things. How about this golden at bat? What do you think of that? Come on now. And I like some of the stuff that probably baseball does more than other people. Like everybody complains about the runner on second, 10th inning. That doesn't really bother me. This golden at bat, though, that's where you're starting to stretch it into just being comical, right? Now, again, my whole thing, though, is like, I don't mind if you tinker with stuff in the regular season if you're essentially breaking ties, right? Because at that point, to me, it's essentially entertainment. If you don't do all these crazy, kooky things in the playoffs, I'm fine with a lot of them. Same with hockey, the 3-on-3 overtime. Look, if it's a close game, if it's tied, you do the quick overtime, you do the shootout, whatever it is, you do the 3-on-3 overtime. It's essentially a tie. I'm okay with doing kind of some weird, quirky stuff around ties in the regular season. I don't want any of that crap during the playoffs. That's where I stand on a lot of this stuff. What do you guys think? Cards need Tucker Carlson, or Kyle Tucker? Talking about Kyle Tucker, I've seen that Kyle Tucker could be potentially moved. Let's see. You mama. Soto will age well. 15 years is a long time. The first 7 years will be worth it. The last 8 will be an overpay, but not by a ton. The $51 million now will be like $30 million then. Yeah, but also you're getting a young dude. He's 26. You're getting him till age 40. But a guy like that with his plate discipline that can walk, you don't think even – I would think they're going to get 10 good years. I mean, 10 good years till he's 35-ish. Even then. I mean, he's going to fall off a little bit, but you don't think he's still going to be able to walk? You don't think he's still going to be able to jack some home runs? I think it's going to be a pretty dang good deal. The thing about Soto is, I don't want to compare him to Jason Hayward, but one of the things, remember when Jason Hayward was the big free agent? One of the things we all touted, or people touted, was, oh, he's so young, right? Because he was a super young free agent. Well, he had been okay, but it was almost like they were selling you more on the youth than the production. Juan Soto, you get both. You get a super young guy, one of the youngest free agents we've seen in years, and he's super productive. It's the best of both worlds there. Okay. Yeah, Kyle Tucker. I knew you meant Kyle Tucker, not Tucker Carlson. I was joking. Dwayne Smith, if Cards have another offseason, does Ollie go? Yeah, I would think so. Well, it depends also if Chaim Bloom likes him, right? I would think Chaim Bloom is running the show, obviously, 2026. If he wants a new manager, he'll get a new manager in 2026. I didn't think getting rid of Ollie was a huge deal this past year. You have a lot of other things to clean up. Moves to be made, reassess the minor league system, development, all that. If Ollie's good, he can stay beyond 2025. If he's not, get rid of him. Clean slate, Chaim Bloom with whoever he wants to be the manager in 2026. Let's see. Ryan Kloss. Soto deal is sort of like Albert deal. I'd rather take Albert, even though he wasn't like the Cards version entire career. But it's kind of like the first Albert deal. That's the deal. It's like the first really good one. Not exactly, but it's like the first 10-year deal, right? You're getting him young, not the crap. Now, I shouldn't say crap. That was mean. I mean, you're probably going to get some crap years at the end of Juan Soto. There were some bad years at the end of Albert with the Angels. Did he have about 4 or 5 good years with the Angels? But, I mean, every year with the Cardinals was good. I would think the first 10 years of this deal for the Mets would be pretty good for Juan Soto, I would guess. Let's see. Dempsey Callahan. I think Arenado and Goldie were bad for the locker room and are not leaders. They stay in their heads. My prediction is the clubhouse will be in better shape. Now we'll produce a better team. Yeah, I don't think they were bad for the locker room. I certainly don't think Goldie was bad for the clubhouse. Maybe not vocal leaders. I get that. I mean, I do think it was a pretty big indictment after 2023 that the Cardinals essentially said, hey, we got to bring in like Lance Lynn and all these veteran guys and Kyle Gibson and bringing back Matt Carpenter and Brandon Crawford because they needed more clubhouse leaders. I think that was a pretty strong indictment of the clubhouse in 2023. And that's everybody. That's Ollie. That's the players. I don't think Goldie was a bad clubhouse guy whatsoever. And I covered both these guys. I think both pretty quiet. I think Arenado pouts. And they also just didn't have good years, right? They didn't hit the last couple of years. That's the main part. Let's see. Big overpay, in my opinion. $800 million for taking ball 4 so much. Yes, walks lead to wins. $800 million, sheesh. That is true. I could see him going awful at 28 only because he started so young. I don't think about that. I think he's going to be really good until he's at least 35 or so. If Contreras fails, Thurman Vaught, who is your future first baseman in 2026? Well, I mean, Contreras better not fail because he's under contract for what, 3 more years with an option? So I think he's your first baseman, folks. And that's another thing. Look, you signed Wilson Contreras to be your catcher for 5 years plus an option. He caught, half of a couple seasons. You essentially wanted to move him to the outfield about a month into that contract. And I know he's been a really good hitter. I'm a big Wilson Contreras fan, but let's not act like that contract has been anything like what they thought it was going to be replacing Yachty. It's fine. I mean, he's a first baseman now. He can hit. Don't get me wrong. I don't think it'll be a bad contract, but that's not at all what you envision. And also, if you think he's going to be a first baseman 2 years in, do you even sign him? At that point, do you steer a Gorman or a Walker more towards first base in their development? That's the thing. Like, you're kind of shifting pieces. I think they wanted to make not Nolan Arenado. I think they wanted to make Wilson Contreras an outfielder pretty early on in his tenure. I think that offseason you saw reports of that. He didn't want to do it. Well, now you don't need outfielders. Now you need a first baseman. So I'm not saying, look, first baseman, outfield. I think Nolan Arenado. Sorry, Wilson Contreras. I think he could probably play either, but right now there's a need at first base. So we'll see. Defensively, it's going to be a drop-off. It's absolutely going to be a drop-off from Paul Goldschmidt, who's elite, has been elite. So picking balls over there, we'll see what happens. I don't think he's going to be a butcher, but there's going to be a drop-off for sure from Paul Goldschmidt. Let's see. Ryan Kloss on Soto. Maybe he's different and is guaranteed Hall of Famer. Right now, he's not. I think he'll be in the Hall of Fame. I think so. Let's see here. You mama, golden bat rule has to be a joke. If you're going to rip off banana ball stuff, rip off the rule that when a fan catches a foul ball, it's an out. I do like that rule for banana ball. Let's see. Thurman Vaught, if Chase Davis and J.J. Weatherholt, they're ready in 2026, what do you do with Donovan and Burley? I don't know. These things they'll all play themselves out, right? They'll all play themselves out. Whoever hits is going to stay, right? If Gorman can't hit, who knows? Is he going to be on the bench? Is he going to be moved? Is he going to be another guy like all these other players that get moved when they have no value, like a Dylan Carlson or whoever, Tyler O'Neill? By the way, Tyler O'Neill, good for him. Nice contract. 3 years, $49.5 million. Has an opt-out, maybe opts out after the first year. Hopefully he stays healthy. I'm a big Tyler O'Neill fan. I know he's got to stay healthy 100%. Look, that was the main problem with Tyler O'Neill. The best ability is availability, but also I'll never go astray from this take. He was done wrong by Ollie. Ollie never should have called him out publicly. That fractured the relationship to the point where they had to move him for a bucket of balls when, of course, you have a super motivated player in your walker. That made no sense. Made no sense. I said it at the time. It just made no sense. I get calling him out. I get it. Do it behind closed doors. He was running at like 93% of his top sprint speed. Made no sense to call him out publicly. I've never seen a professional athlete, everybody that's weighed in on this topic the last couple of years, I've never seen anybody back Ollie on that. Just made no sense. You lost the player. You had to trade him away for a bucket of balls the next year. That was stupid. That was stupid. No excuses. Sorry. And you know I'm right about that. You know I'm right about that. Right? I'm wrong about a lot of things. I'm right about that one. Jeff Castle, walks, singles, and doubles equal wins. I don't want every hitter on the team trying to hit home runs. Yeah, especially at good old Busch Stadium. Hit some balls in the gap and run, baby. Let's see. Scott Jennings is a lifelong Cardinals fan. LOL. Is that the dude on CNN? Is that who you're talking about? Scott Jennings? Is that who you're talking about? Why are you trying to make it political, dude? We're trying to talk sports here, okay, man? Come on, Ryan. But thank you for your comments. I appreciate it. One more topic. Let's see. Yes, he's talking about Scott Jennings. He's the dude on CNN where it's always like 5 versus 1. He's the one conservative versus like 5 Democrats. It seems like I don't really watch, to be honest with you. I don't watch, but I see the clips. I see the clips on X. And speaking of X, I'm going to go back to it because I thought this was kind of funny. I guess not funny, but telling. And I was joking. So basically, Foul Territory, great show. AJ Przinsky and all them. They put it out there. Joel Wolf, the agent again, we mentioned Joel Wolf earlier. He's Arenado's agent. But Joel Wolf, the agent, said Roki Sasaki could benefit from a soft landing in a small to mid-market team, partially because of how tough the Japanese media has been on his mental health. And by the way, I'm not making fun of the dude at all. I'm going to comment. But mental health is a real thing. I'm not trying to poo-poo that, okay? But also, like, if you're in the big leagues, isn't that pretty stressful anywhere? I know you could have more media attention in some big markets than others, but, like, you're still on the mound with millions of people watching, tens of thousands of people watching, like, even if you play for the Seattle Mariners or whatever, right? So I'm all for the dude. Hey, be comfortable where you're at. If you want to play somewhere, and my joke was, Sasaki to the Cardinals confirmed, because we're a nice soft landing, right? Mid-market team. They're not going to get him. I'm just joking. But my point is more so, if I'm signing a pitcher to a big contract, that's also not what I want to hear, right? Maybe that's not fair, because mental health is a real thing. I feel for these dudes. There's pressure, and some people can't handle the pressure. But if I'm about to sign a pitcher or a player to a big contract, and they're like, I don't want to play certain places for my mental health. Like, I understand if you just don't like all the media. I think that's different. Like Sonny Gray, it seemed like he wanted to play with the Cardinals, right? And he lives in Nashville, kind of close to where he's from. Maybe not as much craziness with the media. I get that. And that can weigh on your mental health. I'm just saying, if I'm trying to give out a huge contract, I don't love that. What do you think? What do you guys think? Do you agree? Disagree? What do you got? What do you got? All right, you know what? We've gone 46 minutes. 41 of you watching. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I think we're going to wrap it up unless any more comments, any more questions. What do you guys think? Please support the sponsors, Triad Bank, triadbanking.com, St. Louis Lawn Care. I told you about St. Louis Equipment, stlmowerrepair.com with their great Ariens brand of snowblowers, Corner Butcher, Chop House over there in Valley Park, Corner Butcher West in Ellisville. Let's see. Yeah, I got a couple more. What do we got? Sorry if you already hit this, but Nato being gone, who's playing third base? Move Gorman back. Sajc, Donovan. Yeah, I didn't even mention Sajc. They got options. Arenado is as good as gone, folks. I like the Cardinals position players. I said that last year. I was wrong last year. I may be wrong again. You throw out those position players, you throw out a bucket of Donovan, Newt, Walker, Gorman, Burley, Sajc. We got Contreras. I mentioned Burley. Who am I missing? Whoever's catching, Herrera, Pajes. But, okay, I'll say them again because I forgot already. But Newt, Donovan, Walker, Gorman, Sajc, Contreras, Burley, right? I mean, aren't you fairly high on almost all those guys? That's 7 dudes, right? Whatever's going on at catcher. Who am I missing? Oh, duh. I mean, I'm missing freaking Mason Wynn. Come on now. Mason Wynn. Like, you're not pretty excited about that group of position players, folks? I am. I still think they're going to be good. I still think they're going to hit. If I'm wrong again, I'm wrong again. Okay? Kim Belker says Walker to third. I don't know. Walker's a big boy. You really mess with that dude, right? Send him up, send him down, third base in the minors, play right field. Does it make sense to move him to first or third now? Maybe. That's what I'm saying. That's why I like the Contreras contract. Okay, if they don't sign Contreras, they have different plans at first base moving forward for somebody like a Gorman potentially or a Jordan Walker, right? All these things come into play. Luken Baker, you mama mentioning, yeah. I don't know what Luken Baker looks like in the big leagues. Maybe he's a bench bat. I don't know. We shall see. Thurman Vaught says, can't wait till Michaelis and his 1970s porn mustache is gone at the end of the year. Yeah, I think the time has come to part ways after this year, or we'll see. He's under contract. So, if they're getting rid of him this year, it's probably going to be a salary dump. You always need innings. I know you don't love Miles Michaelis, but you always need innings. I still think the Cardinals are going to be pretty decent. And if they're decent, don't the Cardinals try to have to win at the trade deadline, right? Don't they have to after 2 years? I'm not saying go big, but like if they're in the mix, I think they owe it to the fan base to try after 2 years not making the playoffs, right? So are you going to trade away some pitching in the offseason that you might need back? That's why I like Fetty. I think the Cardinals are going to be okay. If the Cardinals are 3 games out of the wild card, it's hard not to be in the wild card, folks. You have to be really crappy. You have to be really crappy to not be in the wild card. If the Cardinals are 3 games out of the wild card at the trade deadline, I think they have to try to stay in it, right? This is kind of what a soft rebuild is. I'm not saying go big, but add a reliever. If you have to add a depth starting pitcher, it is what it is, right? All right. Weatherholt coming up fast. JJ Weatherholt. I'd avoid trying to move Walker back. That's from Josh Hill. Arenado for Alec Baum. Straight up Philly eats the contract. I don't know. We shall see. You mama says Contreras, Baker, Burley, Carousel at first base DH. Baker hits lefties. Burleson hits righties. All good ideas. All right, I'm going to shut her down. Thank you guys so much for watching. And also the Pelicans moving here, of course, our NBA team in 2028. I love it. I would love it. Not going to happen, but it's fun to talk about. All right, thank you guys. Please comment, like, subscribe. Once again, check out our sponsors, Triad Bank, triadbanking.com, St. Louis Lawn Care, stlawncare.com, St. Louis Equipment, stlmowerrepair.com. Get your Ariens brand snowblower for the Christmas season. Corner Butcher, Ellisville, Corner Butcher Chop House over there in beautiful Valley Park. Need a shave. I need to shave? I shaved my neck. Thanks, Charlie. Jeff Castle. Thank you, Jeff, and thank you, everybody. We went 51 minutes. Pretty good, right? All right, guys. We'll see you. Have a great holiday season, Christmas. I'll see you again. I'll do another live stream. I'm looking like Dexter. Is that a compliment? I don't know. I never watched the show, although I heard it's good. All right, I got to shut her down. See you guys. Love you all. Peace out.